Now let's take a look at the dispatching section of TerraTrash. To get to the screen, go to Dispatching and then Dispatch Maintenance. You can use this ticket screen for many different functions. This can be for dropping off and picking up roll-off containers, the scheduling of painting containers, or creating a work order for a service of any kind. The first step in creating a new work order would be to click the New Order button. Use the Customer field to bring up a customer to assign to this work order. This field wants an account number only, so if the customer's account starts with, say, CM1, then type CM1 in the account field, hit Enter, and you'll get a list of customers to choose from. You can see that the work order number was filled in automatically, as well as the dispatch address and billing address for the customer. The order date will default to the day that you're currently entering in this work order. The only time you'll ever change this date is if you're a day or more behind entering in on the work order, and if that's the case, change this date to the day the work order should have been created. Schedule date and pickup date are both optional. Put the appropriate dates for the jobs in these fields if you would like to keep a record. You don't have to enter in any dates here right away, so you could always come back later on and edit the correct dates in. Also, depending on the type of work order this is, these fields might not even apply. Requested by is also optional, and this is where you can fill in the contact person at the site. Anything you put in the comments field will be readable on the work order, so this is an optional field where you can add any miscellaneous instructions. The status will automatically update, so you don't want to manually change this when creating a new work order. As an example, when you first save, the status will be work order. When a work order is printed, the status will change to printed. After work order is completed and billed out, the status will then say sales, which is the absolute final level that a work order can go. Driver and truck are both optional. You may choose a driver from your list of employees and a truck from your list of trucks. Print prices has to do with the Transactions tab. Any transactions listed will print out on the work order as well, so the customer knows what they'll be billed for. If you want the prices for each transaction to print on the work order, check this field. If you don't want them to see the prices, leave it unchecked. Size and container number will only fill in by assigning a container to this customer through this screen, though this is also optional. To assign a container, click the Container button at the bottom of the screen, choose the container from the pop-up window, and then select the Transfer button. Similarly, route number and route day will be used if you assign a route to this work order. To do this, simply click the button at the bottom of the screen that looks like a truck, then select the route you want to assign from the pop-up window. Terms is where you enter in the terms in which they should pay. So for example, net 30. Dispatch address is the address that will print out on the dispatch ticket and will show the site address on the customer record by default. You can make any adjustment you want for the address or phone number at this time. The change will only reflect on this ticket once. It won't update the customer account. Billing address, however, will show up automatically and cannot be edited. Once you have all the necessary criteria filled in, make sure you click the Save Order button. Once you've added some work orders to your database, you have the options of looking them up by work order, account number, or container number. When you're ready to print your tickets, you can do so one by one in this screen by hitting the Printer button at the bottom left, or you can print them out under our Reports section, Daily, Dispatch List. Let's move on now to the Transactions tab. You can use the screen in one of two ways. Either enter in the transactions that the customer will be charged, either before the work order is printed out or after the work has been completed. In other words, you don't have to put anything in here now, not until the job is actually completed, and you're ready to bill the customer. Let's enter in an example of the first scenario. If you want to enter the transactions before you print out the order, you can enter in transactions that the customer will be billed for on this particular order. If you do your tickets this way, remember not to hit the Send to Journal button until the job has been completed and you're ready to bill the customer that exact amount. After you enter in the transactions, you can at this point go back to the Ticket tab, hit the Print button, and that way the charges will actually print on the work order. Let's say some time has passed and the job has been completed. You'll want to come back to this screen, bring the correct work order up, click on the Transactions tab, and make sure that all your transactions are correct. If you want to change any of the transactions, quantities, rates, etc., simply double-click on it, make the change, click on the Add button, and that change will be processed. Any charges that didn't take place may be deleted from this screen as well. Once you're confident everything's correct, click on the Send to Journal button. Keep in mind, once you send the transactions to the journal, that's it. This ticket will now be locked out from being edited on this window. However, you could still make changes to the transactions through the journal. Once you build the job out and the journal has been posted, you can either wait to print them out a statement at the end of the month, or you could create and then print out an invoice for them individually, or for their whole group. If you then come back into the main screen and look up an old dispatch ticket that's already been billed out, going into the Details tab will show you a list of every transaction that this ticket was been billed for. Now there might be times when you may need to manually change the status on a batch of tickets for whatever reason. To get to that feature, go to Dispatching, then Process Dispatch Tickets. Using the screen, you can update a whole batch of tickets at once by selecting a route, giving a range of work order numbers, schedule dates, pickup dates, or by order dates. Just choose the new status you want all these tickets to be, and then hit Update. If you only need to update one or a couple tickets, it would probably be best just to look up the ticket in Dispatch Maintenance and edit the status there. Let's take a look at our options for printing dispatch tickets. Go to Dispatching, then Print Dispatch Tickets. From this screen, you could print a single or a range of dispatch tickets. You can take this time to test out some ticket printing if you already have a default printer set up. For more information or troubleshooting regarding setting up printers correctly for printing tickets, please contact our customer service number.